Thank you for attending this Connect Together event. During this event, we have automatic closed captioning available. Please go to the bottom of the Zoom meeting, click Live Transcript, and then Show Subtitles to turn them on. Before we begin, we'd like to take a quick moment to let you know how you can join an opinion research panel made specifically for British Columbians living with disabilities.
For 25 years, the Disability Foundation has been fostering meaningful experiences for Canadians with disabilities through outdoor recreation, social connectedness, innovative adaptive devices, and more. Today we are asking, how has the pandemic affected you? Help strengthen decision makers' understanding of your needs and experiences by joining an online opinion research panel consisting solely of people with disabilities and their caregivers. Make a difference in your community today. The Disability Foundation. Reimagine what is possible.
Did you know? Young adults with disabilities have a harder time getting hired. Break down barriers by sharing your story. Take our survey.
All right, and I'll bring it back to Chelsea. Thank you for watching that short video.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Chelsea Walker. I am the Executive Director of Whistler Adaptive Sports Program Society here in the Sea to Sky Corridor. And we're extremely grateful to be able to work, live, and play in the unceded territories of both the Lillooet and the Squamish Nations. So I'm here today to chat with you a little bit about Whistler Adaptive Sports and just a little background on us. We are a multi-sport organization operating on a year-round basis. We are pan-disability, age 3 and up. So that means that individuals with a physical, cognitive, sensory disability can come and play with us and learn sport, but also individuals who are neurodiverse or who have PTSD. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our winter sports, and then please also put up your hand if you have any questions as we go along, because I really like presentations to be super interactive as opposed to just me chatting away at you for the next few minutes. But I'm going to share my screen and bring up our website for you. And there's lots of different ways that you can get involved with Whistler Adaptive. So in the winter, we do a couple of main sports outside, being alpine skiing and snowboard, as well as Nordic sports. So I'm not sure, not a lot of people know that we do Nordic sports, and we can chat about that in a second. So our alpine skiing, sorry, I don't want to make everybody dizzy, but let's scroll down. So Alpine Skiing operates at Whistler Blackcomb. You can see here's a lovely picture of one of my friends out in a bi-ski. And skiing is available for individuals who are standing, who are seated, who are visually impaired, again, who have a cognitive disability or neurodiversity. And we operate, we actually operated, today's our opening day. So we're very excited. We have our first participants up on the hill, and we'll operate all the way until April 17th. Our lessons in our ski and snowboard program are full day lessons, and it gives an opportunity to get out and just experience the joy of being outside in nature, in the snow, outdoors in winter. So there's lots and lots of benefits. The nice thing about our programming as well is when you arrive to Whistler and you arrive to our meeting location, everything is zero elevation all the way up to our building, including our building is built to an ADA standard at Olympic Station on Whistler Mountain. So there's lots of opportunity to just have a seamless experience coming all the way up to our building, getting fitted out in a sit ski or any other adaptive equipment that you might need, and meeting with our experienced instructors and coaches. Whistler Blackcomb is the largest ski area in North America, so it can be a little bit intimidating at first, but the nice thing about the learning area that we're adjacent to is it's basically as flat as a pancake. So it gives you the opportunity to get out, go on magic carpets, which are like conveyor belts for learning on. So we don't even introduce chairlifts right away. So there's a really nice progression to be able to get out and to learn the sport in a low risk, low impact way. We also offer for those of you who have a financial restriction, bursaries. So we do offer bursaries to break down the financial barrier to sport, because coming to Whistler can be expensive. We do understand that and recognize that. And we want to make sure that, that the sports are available to everybody, that there is no barrier. It is a winter sport. So if you are coming up, we do recommend that you are dressed for winter weather, that you have, several layers. So everything from a base layer through to a fleece and then an outer layer. And then we do have extra clothing if you just don't have winter clothes. We do recognize that if you're coming from the Lower Mainland, where it's a little bit warmer, not everybody has the same outfits that we have up here in the Sea to Sky. We also do offer an Accompany Pass program, and the Accompany Pass program is actually located on our website, which is just up here. And the Accompany Pass program is super easy to access. It gives you the chance to come out with a carer, a guide, a family member with no additional cost to you. So it is a complimentary program. It is not restricted to individuals who are members of or using Whistler Adaptive Sports Program programming. It is open, as you can see, for everybody. So whether you're coming up for summer sightseeing, whether you're going riding in the bike park, whether you're going to the tube park this year. So Whistler Blackcomb was very, very generous through their Epic Promise in-kind grant to give the opportunity for their entire venue to be accessible as possible for individuals who need an extra set of hands in order to access their venue. As I mentioned, we do have bursary opportunities, and our bursaries do run July 15 across, or August 1 to July 31. We do start accepting bursaries the 2 weeks previous in July of our fiscal year. And we do have a fairly generous means-based test. So we do, we recognize that it's very, very expensive to live in the Sea to Sky corridor as well as in Lower Mainland. So even if you feel like maybe you wouldn't typically apply for a bursary through other organizations that are using Canada-wide means-based tests, we would encourage you to consider applying for one of our bursaries, especially if you have a child or youth. We have a special focus on children and youth at Whistler Adaptive for bursaries to apply. It is a relatively easy form to fill out, and you can submit it, and we try to turn these around quite quickly and provide approvals and decisions by our bursary committee on a rolling basis. So there is no set intake process. We do also offer lots of groups, events, and camps. And one of the main camps that we're offering this year is a camp with spinal cord injury VC for Nordic skiing. And we'll talk about Nordic skiing a little bit. So if you have the opportunity to be connected with Spinal Cord Injury BC, you can check out their newsletters for the camp dates coming up in February and in March. Also, we will be hosting in partnership with the Nordic Racers a Skiing is Believing clinic, and that is on January 23rd. And we'll post the details on that on our website as well. And then, as I said, a lot of people don't realize that we have other sports available outside of skiing and snowboarding. As you can see, there's a lot of people out mountain biking there right now. But let's talk about Nordic sit skiing. This is my friend Sam with our coach Bill. So Nordic sit skiing is a great way to get out and get some cardio in the winter. So a lot of times people think about Whistler, they think about alpine skiing and snowboarding. And yeah, as I said, it can be daunting. There's lifts, there's lots of people sometimes, parking can be an issue. And so one thing we like to recommend is, hey, let's just look at other sports that are available. And one of the reasons why we love Nordic sit skiing is the parking is a lot easier. At Whistler Olympic Park, it's great exercise, and to get out in the forest in a quiet environment can be really therapeutic. Plus there are paramats right next to the parking, so it's super easy to wheel up or walk up to where we teach. and learning to transfer independently from a wheelchair into a Nordic sit ski is quite quick. So we have had individuals who've come out in these programs who've been skiing independently with their families within a couple of hours. So it's just something to think about for sure. It is definitely a higher output and takes a bit more work. But for those of you who have dogs, Whistler Olympic Park actually has a dog loop. So there is an opportunity to go skiing with your four-legged friends. And full disclosure, I am at home, so hopefully my dog does not start barking, but he does love going out to the Olympic Park as well. We do also offer Nordic skiing for individuals with visual impairment, again, with a cognitive disability, with a limb difference. So just like alpine skiing and snowboarding, there is an opportunity to have all different abilities and all different profiles out on the trails. Nordic skiing is also a little bit more affordable. So it is something that you can access for $50 for your first lesson, as opposed to $220, which would be an alpine skiing or snowboarding lesson. So it is something we do encourage people to consider, as well as the alpine options. And for those of you who are ambulatory, we do have snowshoe options as well. So Whistler Olympic Park, as well as the Lost Lake area in Whistler, have tremendous trail systems. And just even going for a walk in the woods in the middle of winter can be so beneficial for not just one's physical health, but one's mental health as well. So if you are a little unsteady on your feet and maybe Nordic skiing or alpine skiing is not for you, but you can walk short distances of about 1 kilometer to 2 kilometers, then we do also recommend that you have a look at snowshoeing. We've talked about winter sport, but as you can see through some of these photos, we do offer lots and lots of summer sports. So we do say, hey, come on over to our website, have a click through and see what a Whistler adventure could look like for you. We do custom packages. So we have not only regular weekly programming that you can access and drop into, but we also do have custom packages, and we reverse integrate. So if you have a family that you want to get out and you want to go kayaking, you're like, oh geez, Chelsea, you know, I have to go to you because I have a disability or neurodiversity, and then my family, where do they go? Do they go to Whistler Eco Tours or another service provider? And we say absolutely not. So we want to make sure that your entire family is looked after, and we will teach your entire family or group of friends how to do these sports so that it's completely integrated. And let's see, we paddleboard, we do lots of canoeing. We just got some new pontoons this year for canoes to stabilize them, and new canoe seats. We're very excited about that. And of course, kayaking is always a very, very popular sport. This is a group from Spinal Cord Injury BC that was out a couple of years ago, having lots of fun on Alta Lake. And of course, our bikes. This is one of our 3-wheel bikes. So we do have 3 3-wheel bikes from this board on selection of bikes. We have an XCR, which is more of a bike that you would use in a flow trail or on a fire service road, because it doesn't have full suspension. And we do have a second XCR that's set up all the time for tetraplegics. And so you brake with your elbow. There are hand pins and gloves, so that if you do have low hand function, it's still a sport that's available to you. And then this bike that we're looking at right now is called the Explorer. So it's more of a free ride bike. So you do go chest first, and it gets into just more technical trails. All 3 of the bikes we currently have e-assist, so you can ride with your families. And then we have what's called a G-Trike on order. And the G-Trike is a really great bike for individuals who have a higher level of spinal cord injury. What else can I say? Whistler Adaptive has been around for 20 years. We have some really great coaches who are trained not just in adaptive sport, but also through typical sport training programs, including the National Coaches Certification Pathway, the Professional Mountain Bike Instructor Association, the Canadian Ski Instructor Alliance, the Canadian Ski Coaches Alliance, as well as CASI, which is the Snowboard Alliance, and CANSI for Nordic Skiing. Yeah, we're here all the time, and the easiest way to get a hold of us is to either give us a shout on our main office line at 604-905-4493, or to shoot us an email. Or a really great way to actually get involved is just to shoot us a contact form through our website, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So having said that, I'm going to open up to any questions that anybody might have, and we can talk in more detail as to what Whistler Adaptive does and how we can get you guys out and being active and fit for life. And I'm more than happy if you're not comfortable unmuting, you can use the chat function to ask me anything that you would like. Kim, do you want to, anybody want to ask any questions? Oh, thank you, Matthew. Matthew, have you ever been out skiing or snowboarding? Or any of the other sports I've chatted about? Awesome. Hi, Kim. Oh, nice to see you here, Kim. So yes, Kim, we do are offering bursary assistance this year. It will be on first come, first served basis for adults. The majority of our funding does come for children and youth or Whistler residents. So Whistler residents, our local municipality provides us funding on an annual basis to for bursaries, as well as the village of Pemberton. But having said that, we did talk to the bursary committee, and we will make a small budget available for adults coming from the Lower Mainland or the Squamish area to access our programs this year. Any other questions? Well, you might be wondering, why Chelsea? Why are you here today? Why are you so passionate about adaptive sport? So I got involved, oh gosh, this is my 17th year. I've known Kim for almost all those years. No, not quite, but we go way back. And my grandfather was visually impaired, and I used to guide him on the hill. He was the general manager of Mont Tremblant in Quebec. And so for me, it was completely natural and typical that you know, there was no disability. He was the boss, right? And so he was in charge of the biggest skier in Canada at that time and skiing around, and there were no barriers. And so for me, it ignited a passion to ensure that sport is available to everybody. And I also truly believe that physical literacy and learning the fundamental movement patterns that are through sport can help us just be active for life, right? So whether you're wheeling, walking, running, learning how to throw, object control. So we do really encourage everybody to, you know, I know our ski and snowboard program is definitely one of the best known, but to try a lot of the different programs we have, because sometimes you might not realize that a particular sport suddenly, you know, connects with you kinesthetically. Sorry, that's a technical term, I know. But for example, a good friend of mine, she was always skiing, and we got her into a Nordic sit ski one day. We're just like, hey, let's just try it. Let's just try it. And she was a 5'6", or is a 5'6", C5-6 level spinal cord injury. And when she got in that Nordic sit ski and started to ski, you know, just the light bulb went on. And over the course of that winter, she actually started to feel some firing in her triceps. So it was just such a goosebump moment. Yeah, how different are the Nordic sit skis versus the downhill sit skis? Great question, Jerry. So Nordic sit skis are a rigid frame. They have two skis underneath. They have a bucket or frame. We do have different seating types because we recognize not everybody get seated the same way. And the rigid frame is built so that it goes in a classic ski track. And then you have a set of poles and you're double poling in the Nordic sit ski. In an Alpine sit ski, there's two main different models, and then of course different brands have different models within. And so the two main differences are it's is called a bi-ski. So it has two skis underneath. The two skis are articulated, and it has the opportunity so you can actually go on edge. And so those are great for individuals who have higher level injuries, maybe some stability issues, maybe some spasticity due to cerebral palsy. And we can do everything from thumb, which means that the instructor has their hands on the back of the sit ski to help guide the sit ski, through to tether, which means that you're on a piece of webbing in order to slow you down or to have you stop, or to ski independently. There are some bi-skis out there that you can ski independently in and load and unload the lift. The monoski is a higher performance sit ski. As the name suggests, it only has one ski. It has a frame and a shock system that is more responsive, and it has the opportunity to ski to a very high performance level. A good friend of mine, he left the Canadian Paralpine ski team, and he's been ski touring and skiing some of the sickest lines at Whistler Blackcomb in a sit ski. So there is no barrier limit as to where these can go. It just takes sometimes a little ingenuity in order to access some of the lines. Yeah, and then all the sit skis have outriggers that allow you to guide your turns. And so the outriggers go in your forearms and then have little skis on them that are on the snow. Yeah, no problem, Jerry. Are there other winter sports other than skiing? So, so our main sports are skiing, snowboarding, as well as Nordic, but we do also swim. So we do have 4 days a week of swimming in Whistler. So if you are living in the Sea to Sky and you're looking for a regular swim program, we do offer yoga, as well as strength and conditioning, general multi-sport and physical literacy programs. They are geared a little bit more towards children and youth, but those are offered on a weekly basis. And again, just learning the fundamental movement patterns that are so key to lifelong fitness. And I'll actually slow down here a sec. So physical literacy, when I start talking about that, it's the ABCs of movement, right? So how do you move your body? So just like when you're learning how to read or you're learning how to do math, we also we're not learned how to move, right? We learn, or like knowing every single movement, and we do learn them as we develop and grow. And so at Whistler Adaptive, we've taken a bit of a step back and really focused on, especially for children and youth, learning the ABCs of movement first, and then moving into specialized sport. And then other than that, we do a bit of some online fitness classes. So if you're ever looking for something to connect, I know we're probably all sick of screens now, but if you were ever interested in connecting online in some of our online programming, being HIIT or yoga, we do offer those as well. Yeah, the one that we don't, is there a swim program in Vancouver? I was just gonna say, we do sledge in a camp format, but sledge hockey is also a great winter sport. I wish we had the opportunity to do more sledge in Whistler. It's just we don't have enough individuals to field a team, or to have two teams play against each other. But definitely sledge is always on my radar. And parabob. So I forgot to mention parabob. We do have a parabob, or a bobsleigh track in Whistler. And there will be some parabob piloting clinics, so learning how to drive a parabob sleigh coming up in the next year or so. So we'll definitely make sure that the Tetris Society knows about those and can help get it out to all you guys, because it's a fast, fun sport. Swim programs in Vancouver. Charlotte, I actually don't know that, because I have been so heavily embedded in the Whistler and Sea to Sky area for so many years. but it's worth reaching out maybe through Spinal Cord Injury BC to see if there are swim programs that are offered. Yeah. Any other questions, you guys? You've got me for a bit, so pick my brain. Oh, Spinal Cord Injury BC would be a good place to reach out to in Vancouver to see if there are swim programs. And I'll type their name in the chat too for you. Yes, participants do still have access to accessible accommodations at the Whistler Athletes Center and Lodge. There are currently 70 rooms available, excuse me, and the rates are very affordable. So a single room off the top of my head starts at about $80, a little bit less if you're coming with a group. And it then scales up. So each room has at least a single low bed. And then every second washroom is an accessible washroom, which is great. The Athlete Center is available for booking if you're connected to the sport. So you would need to be taking lessons with us or involved in some sort of sport, education, or cultural visit to Whistler. We're not allowed to compete with the traditional hotels. But the Athlete Center is a great option. There is also in the Athlete Center, so the moderate rooms have one bed, standard rooms, which is slightly more expensive, have two, so you could share with a friend or a carer. And then there are also deluxe rooms now, so with a few more creature comforts. And then there are family pods. So they have created a couple of clusters where there's 2 bedrooms. So if you're coming up with your family and you wanted to have a little bit more privacy, there are units with 2 bedrooms in them and a private washroom. There is a common kitchen. Unfortunately, while the common kitchen is accessible, they didn't take into consideration creating low counters. But I think they have renovated and put in a couple of retrofits for low counters for kitchen prep. While the kitchen is self-catering, we do recommend that you look at their catering packages if you're coming up, because I actually just did this for a group who arrived yesterday. There's some really reasonable, very, very robust meal plans for between $20 to $45 a day. So you can't really go wrong with that type of pricing for 3 meals a day in the Whistler area. If you do require assistance or you need a manual lift to transfer into a bed, we do have a manual lift at Whistler Adaptive that we do rent, and that's available not just if you're staying at the Whistler Athletes Lodge, but we will also move it to other accommodation if need be. So we've even the summer we had it at the Chateau Fairmont Whistler, we had it at the Westin, so that is always an option. And then there are accessibility rentals out of Squamish. This is less for you guys because you're coming locally, but if you, I don't know, had a friend coming in from Ontario and you want to come out to Whistler together and you both had accessibility needs, there is an opportunity to rent different aids and options out of Squamish area. Yeah, no problem, Kim. Yeah, the lift we've had for a few years, not too many people know about it, but it's definitely starting to get used quite a bit more. Any other questions? Oh, of course, Kim. Yeah, of course I'll come to GF sometime to present to your inpatients. It's been a while since I've been down to Vancouver. I don't know about you guys, but we've been definitely feeling isolated through the last couple of years. And I live out past Mount Currie, so I was even my road got washed out this week. So it definitely has been an odd time. So we're so excited this winter that with the change in the VIA Sport guidelines that we can welcome everybody back. Any other questions? How about this? I'll ask you guys a question. Why don't you pop in the chat what your favorite outdoor activity is to do? And we'll see what's the most popular. Nice, Matthew. Hiking. I love hiking too. Oh, paddleboarding. Yeah, we love paddleboarding. Biking and snowboard, Jerry. Awesome. And is that a volleyball there, Charlotte? Awesome, guys. Well, it looks like you're all already quite active. So you just have to come to Whistler and Squamish or Pemberton and check out the beautiful sea to sky. See, I'm a little spoiled because I get to do all the sports, but definitely as much as I love alpine skiing with my family, and don't tell anybody I've never snowboarded. Oh, no problem, Morgan. It was my pleasure. But one of the things I love to do in the winter, just so I don't have to drive into Whistler since I live outside of Pemberton, is we have some new cross-country ski tracks here in the Pemberton Valley, and one's at a place called the Beer Farmers, and it's just beautiful in the winter to get out and go for a ski around the farmers' fields. No, my pleasure, Charlotte. No problem, Matthew. My pleasure.
All right, Chelsea. Well, then I just want to thank you for coming in and sharing all your information and your knowledge with us. It was really helpful.
It's been my absolute pleasure.
Great. Okay. Well, everyone take care. I'm just going to end the meeting here then.